One of the most important things you can do for your knife set is keep them sharp. And if you've invested any amount of money into your knives, I'm telling you, it is worth keeping them sharp. The blades are going to last longer. You're going to have less injuries, and you're going to have an easier time cooking in the kitchen. There's nothing worse than grabbing a dull knife and trying to thin slice a tomato, an onion, anything like that. So frustrating. And if you have a tool like a knife sharpener, it makes it so much easier. Now, I want to show you something. You see this right here? Okay. Great tool, not a knife sharpener. Now, I know you're going to say, but Bridget, when I go to cut something and it's dull and I use this, it makes it sharper. It doesn't. So your blades on your knife come aligned like this, okay? And that's a really sharp knife blade. Now, over time, as you use it, the little fibers that make up the sharp knife blade start to go all wonky, and they go like this. So when you use one of these, when you do one of this action, okay, it is true that yes, you are knocking those fibers back into a cleaner, straighter line. So it will help you cut things nicer, but you aren't sharpening it. And if you need to sharpen your blade for them to last longer. So this handy dandy little knife sharpener, first thing I like about it is that it comes with a suction cups so that you can suction it down right to the table. I am doing this in kind of an awkward spot just because of the camera. So the cord is a touch short. It's about a 4-foot long cord. I wish the cord was a little longer, but typically I'd be doing this up at my countertop anyway, and then I wouldn't need such a long cord. But it's got this button right over here that turns it on and turns it off. And what I like is that the directions come right on there. They have a QR code so that you can scan it, watch a demo so you know exactly what you're doing. And this coarse one right here is how you're actually going to sharpen your knife. And this fine one over here is how you're going to take those knife fibers and knock them all back together. I recommend doing both, but these are really going to help with the longevity of your knives. I've had this knife set probably for about 3 years, and I take good care of it because I sharpen it. However, you will notice that sometimes your knives are not as sharp as they used to be. So a sharp knife should be able to cut paper. Let's check this one. I haven't sharpened this one in a long time, but I don't use it very much. Could also use some sharpening. So now, why use paper and not real food? Because paper is one of the thinnest things that will test the sharpness of a blade. So let's go ahead and run these knives through and then try to do a retest and see how well this thing works. So a couple things you should know before you get started. These have different slants in there. I would say if you're nervous about sharpening knives, go ahead and start with the machine off and just kind of get a feel for it. Now you're going to put the knife in and you're going to pull back towards you, okay? You don't want to go up and down vertically. You just want to follow the slants. They make it very easy. All you want to do is make sure you're staying against following the angle that it gives you. Instead of, you see how like if I put it in straight up and down, it's kind of like fighting me. It doesn't even want me to do it. So they make it really easy to just gently set your knife in there, pull it back, and it's going to do the sharpening for you. Same thing on this side. I'm going to turn it on. It's going to do its job, and you want to pull it at least 15 to 20 times to get a nice sharp angle on there. Now the coarse section, that's how you're actually going to sharpen your knife. And if you have one of these, you can go ahead and throw it out because the fine portion over here is what this does. It knocks everything back together. So sometimes your knife, if you sharpened it, you know, a month ago, it might just need to be knocked back in place. If you haven't sharpened it in 4 months, 6 months, you're definitely going to want to sharpen it. So I love that it has the directions right here because it makes it super easy to follow. So I'm just going to go ahead and do about 15 pulls on each side with each knife, and then we're going to go back and try to cut the paper. Relatively quiet. It's not like crazy loud. Forgot to suction it down. Why am I sitting here holding it? Just go ahead, make it level, give it a nice push. Okay, so I went ahead and did it 15 times on each side. I can already tell how much sharper that is. So I'm going to go ahead and do the paper cut test again after sharpening it. Look at that. That's incredible. So this knife sharpener does a really good job. You can tell that's a nice clean cut. It's not ripped. And I like that you can do all different blade sizes with it. I'm doing my chef's knife, my carving knife. I think I'm missing my my little paring knife right here, but this is just more of an average, kitchen knife. You can go ahead and do that one. Let's do the paper test on that one. Yeah, these just all need to be sharpened. You always want to do the same amount of sharpens on each side. So you want to pull it through each angled position the same amount of times. You also never want to push forward. There are stones in there that are grinding your knife and sharpening them, and you don't want to ruin your knife and you don't want to ruin your sharpener. So make sure you're always putting it in and pulling it back, never putting it in and pushing it forward. I did 15 on this side. I'm going to go ahead and do 15 on this side. Okay. You know what? That one doesn't feel as sharp. So if it doesn't cut the paper, I'm going to go through and run it through a couple more times. But it is definitely a lot sharper, but I am going to go through and run it just a couple more times because I think it needs it. So you can just do a test like that to see how many times you need to do it. If you did it 15 times and it still isn't as sharp as you'd like it to be, go ahead and do it another 15 times and you're going to see an improvement from there.